O šį vakarą pristatysime kokias formas gintaras įgauna menininkų rankose. Iš Italijos specialiai šitai progai atvykusi menininkė Valentinaki supažindins su savo kūryba ir kūrybiniu procesu bei pristatys savo projektą POST PLASTIC FAUNA, kuriame analizuojamos šiandien ypač aktualios ekologijos ir klimato kaitos problemos. Kiekviename jos kūrinyje galima išvysti gintaro viduje mutavusį organizmą, simbolizuojantį žmogaus veiksmų poveikį gamtai. Menininkė aktyviai ieško naujų būdų, kaip į kūrybos procesą įtraukti dirbtinį intelektą, atlieka tyrimus ir eksperimentus, siekdama praplėsti tradicinio meno ribas, tad apie visą tai iš pirmų lūpų. Welcome!
Thank you very much. You already explained everything, I think. So, first of all, I would like to thank for inviting me here to Lithuanian National Museum and the House of Histories. It's a real pleasure for me being here. I would like to say just some words about me. My name is Valentinos Kovališinos. In art, I'm Valentinaki. I was born and raised in Latvia, in Riga, but for many years already I'm living in Italy and working from there, basically. But I still have this strong connection with my country, with my land. And I also can say that I'm multidisciplinary artist, but with a focus on water elements. So mainly all my projects are connected with water in somehow. And tonight I'm happy to tell you about one of my recent projects that's called POST PLASTIC FAUNA. And to explain it better, I also created this subtitle that is from fossilized past to plastic-powered future. And in these two words, I'm trying to explain a little bit the theme of this lecture. So the lecture will be of 3 parts. First two parts, in first 2 parts, I will show you my research. So it will be based on it was based on the amber fossils. And then I will tell you about plastic pollution, what also inspired me. And then in the end, I will show you how I created my project. Okay, so let's start with amber fossils. That amber fossil is these preserved remains of organisms that have been trapped inside of amber and fossilized in time. And amber, it's a fossilized tree resin. So trees produce this resin like a protective mechanism against injury or infection. Then this substance starting to harden over time, become very like long-lasting material that can preserve this organism that's trapped inside of these for many years. And that's thanks for that, scientists started to be interested in these fossils, because thanks to them they can find out how the evolution of various species was made on the planet and how in the ecological dynamics of ancient ecosystems was happening also on the Earth. And also we can learn about paleoclimate of past eras. So, amber fossil formation, it's a very interesting process. It starts with a tree when it produces resin. Then this viscous, very aromatic substance can sometimes trap some organism that coming in contact with that. And then starting this process of fossilization. But before this, there are very important conditions that has to be present, like the resin should be of the high viscosity to be able to trap this organism. Then it should be of low water content. This means this organism will not be damaged in time. Then the resin should be exposed to low oxygen environment that also help microorganisms not to grow up inside of the fossil that can produce, they can bring damage to this fossil, to this organism inside. And then the final thing that resin must undergo this process of fossilization that usually needs to be covered with some sediment And only in this case that it can protect from other elements, and then inside of that it's becoming from the resin to amber. So this is a very difficult thing, so that's why we don't have all kinds of animals and organisms found from all the eras, only some of them, because not every time all these points were respected. So about amber fossil discoveries, like we also can see in your art exhibition here in the House of Histories, the discoveries of our amber fossils was many years ago, like thousands of years ago, but only starting from 19th and 20th centuries that scientists started to pay attention to them, because they understood that it can be an important resource of information about the ancient world. And the three main discoveries, most famous discoveries of amber is Dominican amber. What was in the beginning of the 20th century, there was a huge discovery of this amber. They found it like a big amount of amber fossils, mostly insect fossils, and they saw the variety of these insects. And many species was not anymore presented on our Earth, so it was very interesting for scientists to find out them. Then the Baltic amber, our beloved of our region. It mostly was used to decorative purpose and to jewelry, but also we have some insect and plant fossils present in amber, in Baltic amber. But the most famous and the oldest is Burmese amber, where you can find so many different species what were living here millions of years ago, and the variety of these species is the highest respect other ambers. So here is just to have an overlook of different ambers. So it's just random photos from Dominican amber, from Baltic and from Burmese, just to have an idea. And I wanted to say that I choose this one for Baltic amber because I was thinking, oh my God, but it's like 40 million years old. And I just imagine, you know, you're walking in your forest and see a cutie like this. So I would not like maybe to see it by my own eyes, but anyway, it's interesting that here was such animals living in the place we live now. So, and again, about the types of organisms that can be trapped. Many kind of organisms, mostly the most common and most famous insects, all kind of insects. I think everybody saw, even not going to the museums, but going to the shops, we can find all kinds of insects in amber. But also we can find spiders, mites, little vertebrates like frogs, lizards and birds, and various types of plants and fungi. Also this is...
May I ask a question?
Yeah, sure.
Why do you think no furry animals or anything like that, why they were not fossilized? You have? Yay!
Right question in the right moment. And this is one of the my beloved discoveries, and it was made only in 2015. This is Burmese amber, the oldest one, so it's 99 million years old, and they found this little tail of dinosaur. But it's like 3 centimeters, so it's very tiny. And I learned about this discovery, these scientists, paleontologists, she found it in the shop. So, and by the way, it was not cost a lot because it was not good for jewelry, because it's like not transparent was. So she bought it, started to analyze, and with all the new technologies, analytic, they was able, scientists, to reconstruct this animal. And this is dinosaur, and it has a feathered, like a bird. So it's not the first like cats. So it's, and this is amazing. I mean, thanks to this little piece of his tail, we can reconstruct, I can see, and by the way, scientists understood that in this, in this history, there was also animals like this, because they couldn't couldn't find it other way, because of course nothing can be 99 million years old, so it's only amber has these specific qualities to preserve these organisms.
Do they know where this amber was found exactly?
It's, yes, in China, by these discovered by Lida Hink. And the funny thing is, just like some, when I started to do this research for that lecture, I wanted also to find out the piece of amber sold on some auctions, just to have some, you know, new information. And there was some different information about this piece of amber, so I don't want to tell that it was sold, but so maybe it also was sold in the auction, but maybe not. So I couldn't find the proofs. I had to find two different information. That's why I didn't include it. But anyway, it's interesting that it's existing, and thanks to them, and thanks to new technologies, and also I will tell about, you know, how it's important to use new technologies in the right way. And this is, I think, the right way of using new technologies. It's so nice. I think he is also good, not, you know, aggressive. Anyway, so all this learning about ambers with the help of these technologies can help to scientists to understand the evolutionary biology. So how species interact from each other, how they evolved, how the environment was around them. So it's such important information we can get from that, from the fossils, from the amber fossils. And and also paleoclimate. So now everybody is talking about the climate of our days, climate changes, but also thanks to these amber fossils, we can learn what climate was and what kind of changes it was, because the resin is made from the amber is made from the tree resin, and tree resin was influenced by ecological, like environmental factors like temperature, humidity, quantity of rains, and all this kind, and also learning about all these kind of insects. Scientists could understand what kind of climate was, how it was changed by the time, how these species maybe migrated because of the climate change. So it's so many interesting and useful, important information we can get from the amber fossils. So that's why it's very important to have a right conservation of these pieces, because they're very fragile, and also when the scientists trying to find out, to analyze them, so they can also damage them a little bit. So it's also important to have new technologies that cannot really damage these species. And one of the most common and is X-ray imaging. So they don't have to touch it; they just have to make these images, and it can be. You can reconstruct all the structure also inside to understand how was the animal, and then thanks to the new technologies, reconstruct it, the complete. If it's only part of this animal, we can reconstruct all the animal together. So, and also another kind of like DNA analysis, it's also very important to understand more about the species, and also all kind of spectroscopy. Raman spectroscopy, the new one, also help all these things to study these amber fossils. And to conclude this part, I'll say that what I took from that research to my project, that I imagined amber like a case where inside we have a history, microorganisms and macroorganisms also, but organisms that was here on the planet like millions of years ago, and we can see them now. So my idea was also to show what the future generations can see of what we're living. But before we go there, this is the second part of my research. I even changed the background, the dark. because yeah, this theme is a little bit hard, a little bit, you know, strong, but the problem of plastic pollution is really very important to understand also, not only to, you know about it, because I think the problem is that a lot of people really do know that there exists plastic pollution, but people don't really imagine what it means till the end. And these images made by Justin Hoffman's in 2017, where you see this seahorse swimming with a cotton swat, because seahorses has to catch with a tail. Usually they catch something like algae, yeah, not to swim away with the current. And this poor guy didn't catch the right thing, and so this photographer catch these images. I think it's very strong images, because we usually think about nature like something very strong. We think about air cracks, tsunami, and all these things that we say, no, nature is so strong, it's, you know, like stronger than us. But then we see that human impact, sometimes it makes these disasters like this, yes, and it's only like beginning. And I saw this picture in 2018, 1 year later. So, and I started, it's entered in my mind. I couldn't free of them, yeah, because my art is what I will show you later. It's not looks like my art before. I mean, it's this project is completely different visual sequence of artwork than I did before. So that's why these images make me feel about communicating the problem in that way that I communicated in the end. So, about plastic pollution, there are so many data around, and I think a lot of you have heard about these tons. I mean, so many, you know, like a billion of tons of plastic. And the thing is that when you heard, for example, I have such a good imagination like artist, but I cannot imagine so like a billion ton of plastic somewhere. So we don't really like get it. And I think that important things to communicate about plastic pollution is to say that from 1970s we started to produce this plastic, and we are producing every year even more plastic than before. And just imagine that it's still on our planet. It's not disappearing. And there will be another information that only, yes, then less than 10% has been recycled. But it means that it's still on our Earth. And also the 90% again still. So it's in our ecosystem. It's not like going somewhere else, yeah? And the thing is that I think most of people think when they throw away from the home, this plastic, it's already finished, you know, you're done with it, yes? It's not in your home, so it's you don't think about it. But it's somewhere else, and it's there because it's not degraded. So it's, the problem is that, like it's said here, that what is making so useful this material, the durability, and this is resistant to degradation. This is also the opposite thing, that it's not degraded, so it remains. And so this is also, you know, information about these tones. It's important to know, but also I think sometimes we have to imagine how it looks, and I do like this kind of information, like that by 2050 the plastic will likely overweight the fish in the sea, and then we start to understand. Can you imagine how many fishes are in the sea? But it's not only little fish, it's also the big, you know, animals. So that's why it's when you can understand, and it's 2050, it's only after 27 years, it's not like after 2000 or 4000 years. So these kind of things should make us think about this problem more. And another problem is microplastic. And because the plastic, it's not degraded, it's broken. It started to break to little pieces, and in the end, these little pieces entering inside of the animals, eat them. So you can find inside of the fishes, then inside of our organism, because we eat these fishes. So it's always, so it has found everywhere, this macroplastic. And the problem is that you cannot, here is not really microplastic, just to cotton swabs, what I used then in project. I just wanted to show you how they're trying to collect it on the seaside. And, but microplastic is really tiny pieces. And 2 years ago I was in Minorca, and I met one foundation who working there to clean these beaches, sea coast, and also from took this plastic from the seas. And they was talking me about microplastic, and you know, when you are talking, microplastic, and then he bring me, this guy, to the beach, and he showed me. So you will see the sand, and people trying to find out these little tiny pieces of plastic. It's almost impossible to get them, but they are trying anyway to get them from there. They're doing a good work, but anyway, it's something incredible. And only when you see, I mean, this is a problem what I really familiar, yes, but when I see it by my own eyes, then I was, oh my God. And in the same time, you see, it was images that there was a beach with a lot of people. It's August, you know, a lot of people going there for the vacation. You see these guys under the sun, like 40 degrees, trying to, you know, find this plastic, and you see all these people drinking from, you know, bottles on these, you know, things from the plastic. And you see the people, maybe they were thinking, oh my God, maybe he will throw away, it's now on this, the same place. So it's everything, I think we have to, how to say, start it with ourselves, not to look at other people, but start it with ourselves, and really trying to change something. And this is all this data was given to me by One Ocean Foundation. I'm started to collaborate with. It's an Italian foundation. They're trying to somehow to work on this problem, communicate this problem, and also these images they gave me. And I think it's really you understand that, you know, we see only the top of the iceberg. And by the way, I like of this image that here you can see it looks like a real iceberg with the ice, yeah. And then you see that it's plastic. So I think this was, you know, this was the second part of my reflection, and mixing all these two things, that the amber can preserve this organism, and we can see it after millions of years. And the plastic, what is around us, so it's make me really create this project that in the end I created these organisms that was made from organic and plastic. And my idea was that it was like a fusion of art and science, but science in the sense that it's kind of things that maybe future generation will study, but the responsibility is ours because we created these things, and things that, so the idea is like these organisms, it's like with the cotton swabs, plus the plastic one, and it also was a big theme some years ago in Italy, because they forbidden production of the plastic one, and now you can find also only the made from the paper and the cotton, but also it's not means that this cotton is really organic cotton, because when I started also trying to assemble with the glue, there was like it was looking like not really organic. So it's not that, it's already good step ahead that it's not plastic anymore in Italy, in our Baltic states I think also, but not all over the world. If you go to Asia, I don't think that it's, so it's in every country, it's so different. And my idea was that, as we saw on the example of the amber fossils, that nature can adapt. Yeah, so we were studying that nature can adapt to environmental some changes, to climate changes, to that. So if really, and it's so, the nature can adapt. So my fear is that I'm really afraid of that, and I hope it will never happen, that nature in the end can mutate with the plastic, and we will find. And one guy told me, but and humans, yeah, we were part of nature, so also we can mutate with plastic. And I hope it's not happen. It would not happen. But I think we have really, we come so close to that. And each day we are coming even closer to that. So I was creating these pieces. Like I said, it's symbolize the impact of human on our natural world, and also the impact of human can be different. So I would like to say, let's do another impact, not that kind of impact. Yeah, and the idea that the future generation can find it like this. So let's leave something different. And then I created all these canvas. So here you can see there are all kinds of different, looks like organisms, but all the time I used this cotton swab, like, because it has this, like, you can put it like in frequency, so it looks like a little bit like a DNA code, so just to have like something close to the natural. And so all these pieces were made in 2020, during the pandemic, and it was part of one project with another artist, and we decided the opening should be in the January of 2020, before the pandemic, but then it was proposed. And we opened it in the top of pandemic in Italy, and this art show, what has to be only 3 weeks long, was like 2 months long, because we were closing it, opening, because it was all the time new rules coming out, and so it was something something incredible. So it was. And you see on each, now I will show you another image, that on each canvas there is a symbol of tree of life. And this is a typically Latvian pagan symbol, but I know in your country, but also the tree of life exists in every country, in every culture. And the idea of tree of life, like a symbol, is a connection, is a past, present, and future. And I put it in on each canvas because I wanted to underline that important, if we are all connecting, so we have a responsibility also in front of other generations. So that's why it's another thing to show that we all are connecting. It's not like the nature itself, we are itself, so we are all connecting, and we should act with a respect against that. And another not good news, just 7th of March 2023. So when I was already almost done with this presentation, I got from my friends who know my research, they sent me this link of this article, because on March of this year in Brazil, there was found these rocks was emerged with plastic. So it's not like plastic close to the rocks or something what was already seen before. This is completely different thing. So it's the pieces of rocks, and inside of them it was already created like plastic and the rocks around. So this is mutation, what I was thinking about, like futuristic thing never happened, but it's happened already. And it's okay, it's not organism, it's only rocks now, but I'm afraid my project is very, how to say, not so futuristic like I wanted it to be. So another thing to reflect. But not to be so negative, because I'm a positive person. So I just wanted to change a little bit, how to say, in the end, and try to do something, another reflection. So this is how AI, artificial intelligence, saw my works. And I would say that I love him a lot. I think it's she, I don't know. Sometimes, you know, everybody is talking he or she. When I think about artificial intelligence, I think it's she. But I think if she could recreate really, you know, three-dimensional, I would like to have, you know, together with my works, I will exhibit that. We'll be doing exhibition together with AI. And with this, it was just make for fun, you know, to entertain a little bit you. But idea was also one thing was interesting that I put it, my imagine that she will elaborate it, but it was not written that it was made from resin or inspiration was amber. And she put it wood behind. So in somehow she understands that it can be amber. It's something amazing and very interesting, I think. But with this image, I would like to, how to say, underline that we now have these all new technologies, what are really every year, but every month, even every week, becoming even more sophisticated. So I think the right way to using this, first of all, not to be afraid of them. And secondly, I think maybe not, okay, making images, this was only for fun, but also using these artificial intelligence or other technologies, new technologies, we can really find out how we can solve this problem of plastic pollution, creating new materials or creating possibility to destroy somehow all this plastic we already have. So my idea was that we started with a post-plastic fauna from fossilized past to plastic-powered future, but I would like to give another view. Maybe it's better to go to AI-powered future and go in this way. Maybe we will, it will be win-win for us and for the nature. So thank you. Thank you very much. Maybe if you have some, you know, considerations, questions or something, so we can also.
You mentioned that the scientists create from a small part of the organism the whole image.
Yeah.
Do you know a little bit of how they make the whole piece, and did it influence you making the pieces from cotton swab to the whole organism, or where did you find the inspiration?
Yeah.
From the scientific processes or not?
Yeah. About that images about with a dinosaur, yes. I really don't know what kind. I know that it was like it's with X-rays. They trying to got this, you know, structure, and then I think with DNA something of this was the process. I really don't remember well because I put it now, but I learned it yeah, time ago because I knew this discovery. And my idea is also these pieces, what I showed from my own production. It's only the beginning because we presented it in 2020, then I had another project, and now I'm turning back to that project because I will bring it to Latvia in May. And also I will, I think I will present it also, this kind of research during these One Ocean Foundation days in Milan, in Italy. So, and now it was only that, like beginning, and then I think now I have to go deeper. And this question, what you asked me, I don't know if I will create some big, but it's that way. I mean, that was only little creation of a little examples of these fossils, but I would like to create really like a huge organism of plastic, because it will be even more, you know, impacts. Yeah. So the spoiler, total spoiler online. But anyway, yes, it's.
And where in Latvia will you have?
It will be in Scientist Academy. So in 11th of May, everybody is welcome.
And did I understand correctly that that piece of amber with the dinosaur's tail was found in the shop by this?
It was written like this, yes.
So the exact location where that amber was found is in the nature is not known.
No, but it's they wrote it also. They wrote it that it's Burmese amber. When I was talking about 3 types of amber, most famous, there are rather different also other, but most is Dominican, Baltic, and Burmese, and that was Burmese amber, because there are most all the species were found in this kind of amber. So it was part of this Asian amber. And it was written official that it's found in China by these.
China is big.
China is big. Yeah.
Exactly which layer is
Yeah. Yes, that the original version that this scientist, she found it in the shop. So from where it's come to the shop, it's also to find out. And also, this is version I read on the internet. So it's sometimes we were talking today. It's all the information we get. We have to try to, you know, control everything. So I wrote it like this. So I read it like this. So I hope it's more. No. I hope it more or less is the right thing.
What do you think it gives you to anthropomorphize the plastic?
Well,
like to turn it into a creature, because you know plastic itself is lifeless. This is we never put meaning of life into it. So
this is
what does it give you, or for the audience that sees it as well?
Yeah, I mean, when I started to think about plastic pollution, I was thinking, you know, if we think, okay, will be so many plastic, everywhere was plastic, so we will leave and here will be, nearby will be plastic. But my idea was like futuristic and a little bit, you know, artistic idea. It's like the concept. It's not really based on the scientific proved facts that really we can have, you know, like something from plastic. But my idea is to communicate this problem in the rather strong way that people can understand it. I mean, when you say a lot of tons, milliard of tons, this, people don't really understand. When they see this organism inside of amber and it's part organic, part plastic, a lot of people started to ask, really, so we are going that way? Really, we want to have partly made from plastic? And it's not so far. I mean, when I started this research, I think it was too far. Now I don't think it's so far. Maybe it will be not like this, like cotton swabs will grow up, but some kind of infiltration of plastic inside we already have. And yes, microplastic. Yeah, like everywhere in us, and we don't know how our organism, maybe it's in how somehow they will start to protect the plastic. I don't want to even imagine, but it can be. So my idea, I just want to show it's in the very direct way that people can understand, oh my God, this is, because all the people who saw my pieces from far away, they think that it's like really organisms inside of amber. But then they come close and say, oh, but it's cotton swabs. How they get inside? Because also many people think that it's real amber piece. And I said, no, it's not get inside. It's like it's like mutating. So my idea is like mutation. So we are going to mutation, and I hope it will never happen, but
it seems your predictions are coming.
But I mean, unfortunately, yeah, but because also my friend sent me and said, oh, you happy? Like, I said, I'm not happy at all. I mean, I really created this project thinking that it will never happen, but we need to communicate it in this way. I mean, maybe people will start to act differently. And now I think, oh my God, we went so far away already. So it's just time now to finish this and to change, not to finish, but to change somehow the actions. And like I didn't want to leave it without any possibility. So my idea is maybe these like technologies can help us if we cannot do it by ourselves. So I hope.
So do you mostly create your pieces from plastic as well, or other materials?
It was just this one, yes, and like I told, it was beginning of the research. Now I'm trying to, to go it deeper and to create some other. And so now I'm in this moment, I just was thinking what to add, because also, frankly speaking, I'm all the time afraid to use something really, banal, something, let's say, okay, no, again these plastic bottles, or again these masks. So I don't want to go that way. So when I choosing the material, I am very, thinking many times before, because for me it's very important, the aesthetic of my communication, because it's the base of my way of thinking, way of seeing things. That's why I don't want to put all kind of plastic all together inside of amber, and then it will be the exhibition like this. No, so all my choice is so, that's why I'm still thinking how to enlarge this project, because I like but it's only beginning. It's just one, like, little thing, it can be a little part of the project. We presented it already in 2012, but it was big exhibition with another, so I was not alone, so it was okay, like the pieces I had, but I would like to have more pieces, but I have to work carefully on that.
So you recycle the material, recycle the plastic or not?
This is also the spot. Yeah, okay, this is, the idea is to get this plastic from what is brought from the ocean, but also in somehow to choose this, what can be used and can be communicated in the way I would like to communicate. So also the idea is this, to use this really plastic what was found in oceans. Not because this kind of cotton swabs was new one. It was plastic one. I bought it in Latvia. Now it's also, everything is not the plastic one, thanks God. But I bought it in 2020 in Latvia. It was still.
It was European law, I think, was changed and they had to.
Yeah. I think it's good. I mean, it's really good. But so I made it from the new one. I didn't got it from there, because for me was important visual impact, and I needed all this the same. But now I'm thinking really it makes sense to have this plastic from the ocean, and I just have to find the final idea how I will show it together with amber or in some different way. So I'm on my research.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Recycle everything. I also bought, the bottle, glass bottle. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for interest, for questions. It was really, I appreciate it a lot.
Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.